Alright, so in this video, I wanted to showcase Yolanda in action. So Yolanda is currently the only double S tier slime you can get if you're free to play. So what we're going to see before I get into the gameplay here, I am just going to kind of reiterate a couple of things as far as what we're going to look for. So her level 150 ability, that in battle slimes attacks deal 1% bonus additional damage to normal elite enemies. We're actually not really going to be able to see this. This is something I'm sure if you paid really close attention to the damage, you'd be able to see, but it is really kind of hard just because it is only 1% additional damage based on their maximum HP per attack. So it is going to buff both Yolanda and, if you're in hard mode, whatever secondary slime you're going to do, but you're really not going to be able to just see anything as clear as some of these other abilities. For her active skill, so her Dark Forbidden spell, she unleashes Dark Power from the Abyss. She just does, this ability does AoE damage to all enemies. Then I did talk about in the other video, it's only a 10-second cooldown, so you can actually use this quite frequently, which is nice. Dark Energy Amplification. Now this is a cool one. So Yolanda's attacks will deal an additional 100, it'll deal additional damage. Her attack times 120%, which I'll show you in just a second. Then Abyssal Curse. This is another one where you can't really see it, but anytime enemies enter within her attack range, it'll reduce the maximum HP of those cursed enemies by 10%. It'll make them easier to kill, but because it's not a damage or anything, you actually don't see it on the animation or anything. Then this final one, Dominate the Undead, killing enemies where they're going to summon ghosts up to 5 that will last for 20 seconds. The ghost will auto attack nearby enemies and deal 80% times your attack damage. I'll show you that one as well. It's actually not going to, unfortunately, doesn't make that much of a difference. So if we hop into a battle here, so this first one, I wanted to showcase the active ability, the Dark Forbidden spell. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for a couple of enemies to walk onto the screen, and then I'll use it right here, and then you'll just see it does AoE damage. It kills pretty quickly, kills those enemies in the back, and then did a good chunk of damage to that elite as well. You can do it every 10 seconds, so it's not that big of a cooldown, but it's nice just because it deals a decent amount of damage, which always helps. The next ability I wanted to talk about is that first passive Yolanda has. Yolanda's attacks deal additional damage, attack times 120%. This is a kind of harder one to showcase, but what I'm going to do is just kind of show another slime with similar stats. So we see Yolanda has about 1600 attack. If I go to Chloris, which Chloris should be right on par, 1623, and then I'm actually going to show, so if you watch how much attack Chloris is dealing, I believe that's close to 11 million, mid 11 million, 11,500,000 or whatever. So Yolanda does have a little higher critical damage compared to that, so you will have to take that into account. But if I go into Yolanda, and then I'm going to just show this, because of that passive she has, her attacks are dealing 17 million, 16.5 million. So that is a very huge passive because it's going to drastically increase the amount of damage Yolanda's attacks can have, which is nice. So her next passive, that Abyssal Curse, which I talked about, so that curse we won't see. As soon as enemies, you'll see they're already slightly damaged a lot of times because of either splash damage or the Thunder God ability, but they're going to walk onto within the attack range, and typically you don't really see really anything happen, but it will make the enemies slightly easier to kill, which is nice. Then the last ability I was going to talk about, her final passive you unlock when you get her to level 200, is that Dominate the Undead, killing enemies will summon ghosts up to 5. You're going to see them all along, just to the right middle of the screen here. Those ghosts with the really kind of scary looking faces. But those ghosts, if you watch carefully, they actually will shoot out little attacks. It deals 80% times your attack. Really, if you watch how much damage they're dealing on their own, it's not much. That's the unfortunate thing. They don't do a ton. Yolanda's still definitely going to be the main just drive you of your damage, but I guess it's better than nothing. I mean, you're going to want to, if you're using Yolanda, you're going to want to upgrade her to level 200 just for the stats alone. So it is just another passive you get. But there it is. There's Yolanda. I mean, she's a strong double S tier slime, and especially if you're free to play, is the strongest slime you can get in the game. But thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else you want to see.